President William Lokole Lama. Yeah. Tiedingo. Tika Karabom. And I would request that you keep quiet as we witness the last activity. Ahmed Ochieng John William Museveni. I don't know me quote. Both flag bearer men are rem. And the national chairperson NRM, utia mi yedu quote, melari lao, dao gamu kwa ba uru, obabchi wapuo unu timu. Neno, Take the microphone, Funde. Take them the microphone. They will have to speak. Sorry. They will speak. As they give, they speak. Oh, it is done. It is done. Nana Uno President. Adung President. Obamti Wapo Una Dungo protect to 12. Adungo Puratella Waber. Adungo Tiata. Hinera Urumo. Pengatoropo and Musei. Apoya Matek. Okay.
NRM oye! Museveni oye! Aduong lobo gamu kwot, o gamu tong, tedang poro, kita may word kere dwar. Your Excellency, thank you very much. The shield and the spear is a sign that it is a totem given to you by the elders and to bless you as you continue with your journey. We wish you very well as people of Amolatar for your next journey. May I then request our national anthems in the reverse order. Thank you very much.
$500K, sorry, dollar up, now $650K. Offline, price jumps like dollar, but on Gigi, price stays. Why stress offline? Buy, sell, use. Gigi.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for coming and for talking to our people. Thank you, our dear guests, for coming. Joname Pashu, Jami Wautunu led. Aqua, you need to you. T-shirt what year? Pidantia women get what the matter can. The people will fail. Where will we want to get more? Eka to take who teach. Kita moja kumkere wewe. Idiu kujuju kwa Amolatar but you are more, you are better. Umiwi Museveni. Era wewe. Ingine ukipita kwa mtandao hapa yu umiwi Museveni. Era wewe. Museveni wewe. Dije. Era wewe.
Do you need a chair, your Lord, sir? There we are. The Gigana in one. You come into the chair, you work with a chair, you work with Godiana. So, obey your not to the man.
US dollars. But they only wanted one thing. As KCCA, we were supposed to give them a recommendation letter that actually we needed help in that area. Where you don't have immediate funding from government, where you don't have immediate direction of how you are going to decommission, we could not leave that chance to move, to go unattended to. So as a result, we gave them a recommendation letter, and the money, the grant, was given to UN Habitat. Chair, you will note that the government of Japan, in some instances, does not give money directly to government. It gives to those entities. So there are many who bidded for that grant, and UN Habitat got it. When they got it, we sat down and looked at the report which we had for the cracks, for the leachate, for the flooding, and the slopes which were steeper and were a danger to the community. It covered an acreage of 7 acres. So we asked, this total land is 39 acres. How much can this grant help us to handle on the immediate risks? So the grant was only able to cover 7 acres. And what Honorable Kunyinji was bringing up, helping us to answer the immediate interventions we are doing on Kitezi, that is why you are seeing UN Habitat now in Kitezi. And they are using the Fukuwaka method, which was used in Ethiopia when they had a similar collapse. So they are trying to manage those areas which proved to be more risky as we finalize the bigger procurement for whoever will come up to decommission the rest of Kitezi.
Chair, if I may give a different version, yes, putting on different lenses to sum up this problem for you and for all of us. You see, the question you will ask in the wake of the disaster, did we have a plan, a worker plan? Yes, indeed, we have one. We had one. Did we have a budget? Yes.
Work plan was for us to bury the dead.
Not only that, Chair. We had a work plan. We had a budget. It was approved by Cabinet. And I have the breakdown here if chairman could dissect item by item, you'll discover where the mess lies, if I can supply this to the committee. Chair, this is a document dated 12th September 2024. This is, no, just one copy, one document. Different copies, yes, Chair. But I had requested for more. They are bringing more. Chair, it's dated 12th September 2024. As you said, the incident happened in August. Now, submission of the detailed worker plan of 16 billion to support waste management interventions in the Greater Kampala metropolitan area following Chitez landfill disaster. It goes to the PSST. Who signs it? The Undersecretary Monica Edemachu. The breakdown is at the back, Chair. Now, when you look at the breakdown, A, support to interim operations at Katikoro Nkumba, dump site Mukono, the breakdown is there. Yeah. The subtotal is 4.4 billion.
Chair, procedure. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chair, I'm just concerned. I see the ED and the deputy noting down. I don't know that they have the copy of the document.
I had requested for more copies, Chair. You can see there are 4.
It was signed by the Undersecretary, Ministry of Kampala City and Metropolitan Affairs, with a copy to the Minister of Kampala, Minister of State for Kampala, and the Executive Director. So it is already copied to her.
Chair, there are 4 components there in the document.
And it was received by the Office of the Minister, by the Office Minister for Kampala Capital City, okay, a Minister of State, and the Office of the Executive Director. Proceed, sir.
Chair, there are 4 components there. One, the support, because you are asking for the report, what we did at those other alternative sites, Nkumba and Katikoro. The appropriation was 4.4 billion, which was approved by Parliament. Stabilization of which is to deal with the imminent danger, 4.6 billion. Then, partial payment, commitment to land acquisition, 4.5 billion. Total, 13.5 billion. But when you go back to the first page, Chair, the total amount was 16 billion. Now, the Minister of Kampala was taking 2.5 billion. We questioned the appropriation of 2.5 billion, first and foremost. What was the appropriation for? Chair, they indicated that this money was meant for sensitization, 2.5 billion.
By the ministry?
By the ministry. Sensitization. I have the documentation here. We said now you're going to sensitize who and what are you going to do. Up to now, this money has not been accounted for. What I can confirm, the 16 billion was approved
released
by Cabinet and released by the Treasury. Now, when it came to stabilize, because now the Auditor General is talking about 4.9 billion. Initially, we were supposed to receive 16 billion. Now, 2.5 billion goes to the ministry. We are left with 13.5. You can see it on the top page here. We are left with 13.5 billion on the top page. What would come to KCCA?
Yes.
Now, finally, what came was 4.9 billion. Then we asked, where is this other money? Now, Chair, that's when the story of Jospongo comes in. They say, now, Jospongo, you got stabilization of Chitez, the backup page, 4.6 billion. They said Jospongo is going to save us 4.6 billion. But meanwhile, it left the Treasury.
I am looking for the word Jespong.
No, it's about stabilizing Chitez.
Yes. So
there were questions coming in, Jespong coming in.
Wait. Because was this money going to KCCA or to the ministry?
Chair, as you can see on the top page here, there are 2 votes. Vote 23 and vote 122. we protested against this. We said it should be only vote 122,
Which is KCC.
which is KCC that was going to deal with an emergency. We protested against that. Vote 23 had nothing to do with an emergency. Vote 23 for the ministry. So, this 2.5.
So who is the accounting officer for
So
vote
now,
23?
Chair, I wanted to conclude this.
Before that, who is the accounting officer for vote 23?
The very signatory of
Okay.
this document. Emma Dochu, Monica, Ejua, the Undersecretary.
And on procedure, Chair.
Although just before that, clerk,
So,
you will invite Madam Monica Ejua Edemachu.
Chair, I wanted to.
No.
Yes. I wanted to as a matter of procedure.
Yes.
That as the personality is to someone, according to me.
Can we use the word invite?
I borrow your word, invite. But I'm more inclined to use someone.
No, because you're not going to summon.
As per the
We
rules.
shall invite.
Chair, I was recommending that we summon the state the minister for Kampala. The chair will rule. I've used the summon. The minister for Kampala and state minister for Kampala, because part of our concern was the state minister has been making very concerning rhetoric over Shitezi landfill, threatening to build a wall, threatening to beat up the neighbors of the landfill. Very concerning rhetoric, and we also need to interrogate it. And here we are. The road mayor is also making a revelation that he might have stolen 2 billion.
No.
And took it wherever he took it.
Honorable Nkunyinji Mwada. Honorable Nkunyinji Mwada. You know, these are our colleagues in Parliament. The Minister for Kampala and Minister of State are our colleagues. You cannot make the allegation of stealing. What we are doing is to find out how they used the money and the policy issues that relate to the matter. So let's use a language that is civil. I want to, and parliamentary, and I'm expunging the reference to stealing until we get the evidence. 2, I overrule you on the use of the word summoning. We shall use the word invite. And you know, when I overrule you, you don't insist on use of the language.
Chair, most obliged. But
so Chair,
conclude.
My indication was that we invited them to explain to us.
The clerk is accordingly instructed.
Their environment in all this. And lastly, Chair, when the Lord Mayor used the word Jespong, it refers to that Ghana man I also mentioned.
Oh, that is the Ghanaian man. Okay, so the Ghanaian was, you were continuing. You will come in later, Honorable Wakabulinde.
You see, the Ghanaian who owns a company called Jospong, and a delegation went to Ghana. It was comprising of the minister and the accounting officers then and some people. And they made a report. And that he was making a free offer, Good Samaritan, in the spirit of African brotherhood, to stabilize Chitez. Then we asked for this 4.6 billion for reallocation, that we do environment, it goes towards the compensation, if that's what had happened. What happens? When we ask for this environment, and also the 2.5, because the ministry failed to explain the use, we said all this should go towards compensation. Then, my brother here, who was the acting ED then, I wanted to conclude the statement. Who was the acting ED then, my brother here, Frank Arusa, generated this communication to the office of the Prime Minister. In the request, it is dated 22nd October 2024, through the minister, and say, request for the office.
1 page?
Oh, it's 2 pages.
Where is
I'll
this?
not read the word. It's
No.
back.
You see, you cannot give me a document that is not signed.
It is signed. It is.
Where?
Oh, the back page.
I have no back page. I have only one page.
Oh. Chair, you can have this.
Yeah.
I don't know why they never photocopied the back page. Plus this other copy. I don't know why.
Secretariat.
So,
yes.
the issue is request for office of the Prime Minister to take over the compensation and the reallocation of the persons affected by Chitez West slide. He indicated that there are 4 categories of these people. 1, persons whose properties were destroyed and covered by the garbage. These ones I can confirm they were 24, but subsequently the number reduced to 18. No, these ones are 48. Persons whose properties were destroyed and covered by garbage. And as we speak, they are all in my office at Stewart, as we speak now.
They were the persons?
The persons whose properties were buried by garbage. They want answers. They are at my office at Stewart. From here, I'm going to meet them. Even after the proceedings of last week.
Chair, for information, they slept at my gate, and now they are at Lord Mayor's office. They are not. They are demanding for compensation.
Okay.
So there were persons whose properties were destroyed to create passage for the rescue equipment.
Okay.
Those ones were 24. Now they are 18, and what we gather, some have been 18 have been compensated. 3 persons whose properties were submerged by the backflow of water due to blockage of the drainage channels. And finally, persons whose properties are to be affected by the 200-meter buffer zone to be created around Chitez. Then, the acting ED said, the purpose of this communication is therefore twofold. First, the second one is what is significant, important. Request the office of the Prime Minister to take over the process of identifying, validation, and compensation of the affected persons, given the experience and expertise in handling the disaster victims. Meaning that actually, as the institution of cases were committed by the ED on this issue, that as far as compensation is concerned, it's the business of the Prime Minister. Yet, we were supposed to receive 16 billion. Now, the Prime Minister's office has not accounted for the balance, the difference between 4.9 billion that was remitted to us and the 16 billion that was appropriated. They have not accounted for it. So we needed all this to be interrogated. Up to now, we need to ask the office of the Prime Minister, actually the Prime Minister himself,
where is our money?
Where is our money, exactly?
Wait. Colleagues, I think let's hear the version from our witnesses. Edie? On the Lord Mayor. Okay, you ask him.
Yeah, thanks very much, Chair. Chair, I've looked at this work plan which the Lord Mayor has given us that came with a demand of 16 billion. My first question is, were you part and partial of the planning of this 16 billion, request of 16 billion, to know where 2 should go and 4 should go? Because even when I looked at the copies, you were not given a copy. And that's why I want to know, before you complain about the 2.5 that went to the minister or the Minister of Kampala, were you part and partial of the planning?
No, Chair, I would say no. Myself and the entire political leadership were not part of it, and I generated the communication to the office of the Prime Minister. I wrote to the Prime Minister complaining about the breakdown. Even the 2 votes, I insisted that it should be 1 vote with 1 accounting officer, vote 122, that the money should go to KCCA, not to the Ministry of Kampala. I protested against this.
Chair, the reason why I'm insisting on that question, maybe during the planning that you do not attain, the 2.5 was agreed by those who participated to go to the ministry. Or to
I am very conscious of the language you put on the record. I think sharing is out of order. No, the context is well understood. I am protecting especially those that are not here. Let's hear from Edie.
Thank you, Chairperson. The money we received on account for management of this emergency was 4.9 billion, and because of that we had to repurpose and ensure that the emergency activities fit within the 4.9. That's why when you go to the table, which was mentioned by one of the members of the committee, you see that instead of paying 4.5 for land, we paid 2.4, and all other costs for Katikolo, Nkumba had it reduced to fit within what we had. We also wrote back to finance.
By doing that, were you efficient and effective? You planned for a certain amount, then you have to fit into a less amount, and then the rest of the money goes somewhere else.
Chair, I am not sure about where the rest of the money went, but what I'm sure of, that even when
if I ask you, you know the amount which was appropriated?
Yes, I
How
have
much
it on
was it?
paper. The money which was allocated to KCCA was supposed to be 13.5.
How much did you receive?
4.9.
Exactly, that's the point I'm making. I know you're speaking as a civil servant, and you do not want to go into the monkey waters of politics. That one I can appreciate and understand your civility. But from a factual perspective, yes, you can only explain what you received. And of course, nobody would blame you. We are in the process of trying to know where the rest of the money went. You proceed and explain what you received, then the others we shall find where it went.
Thank you, Chair. It's because you had already ruled about that, and people we are going to invite. So we had to fit within that, and that's why even for land we could not pay the full amount. The table against which we use this money is provided in the report on page 12 to 7. But the other thing I was responding to was the issue of the compensation. Chair, picking from where the Lord Mayor stopped, that letter went to the Prime Minister. In one of the meetings we had, we were informed that the Prime Minister's office was going only to handle the 24 whose houses were destroyed when they were trying to create an access to rescue people, and the other categories were not within their budget. And as a result,
within their budget of the difference between 13 and 4.9, or their ordinary budget?
The information we got is that for them, they are only concerned with those houses which they
Did
destroyed.
you have a response to this letter of Frank Rusa?
I do not have a response. It was in a meeting which we held.
Frank, was this letter responded to?
Honorable Chairman, it was not responded to.
Was there any follow-up thereafter?
I think if you could if I could easily be reminded about the date.
The date of your letter is 22nd October 24.
Mr. Chairman, I that issue with the Prime Minister.
Yeah, but surely you were the one who wrote to the Right Honorable Prime Minister. Did you involve your ministers? Yes, I can see.
Yes.
I can see you copied in the minister. And now listen, Frank Rusa. You copied the Minister of State for Kampala. Where is the Minister for Kampala here? Why did you copy the Minister of State and not the Minister?
On the head, on the top here, it was through the minister.
Oh, it was through the minister?
Yes.
Okay. Did you discuss this as an authority? Because these are policy issues.
During this period of the Kitezi, the aftermath of the Kitezi disaster, the office of the Prime Minister, if you all remember, took lead of most of the Prime Minister herself was in the driver's seat of dealing with the responses. As a KCCA, we had a number of meetings that we attended, and we could see that's the reason why what we did is to explain from what we saw who are the categories of affected and try to put it.
Then who took the decision that we should transfer responsibility? Because that's really not a technical issue.
No, we discussed it in our SMT senior management team, but we did not have conversation. We didn't have a number. We didn't agree upon it with SEC at that time.
Why? It is their function. It's not yours. Then what drives you to take a policy decision? And I think this is what we've been advising you before. The reason now you're answering a hard question is because of the option you took. You took over an executive function. It's a policy issue. Anyway, you have understood what I mean. Okay, I think, colleagues, to resolve this, we shall have an invitation. We shall have a discussion, a conversation with the Prime Minister. We shall also have a conversation with the ministers, particularly the minister. When I invite the minister, I don't need to invite the Minister of State. On the issues raised by the Honorable Mwada with respect to the words that have been allegedly spoken by the Minister of State, really, we are not going to be guided by extraneous matters. We shall invite the minister and ask her to clarify on these matters, together with the person who is supposed to
Actually, him, not her.
No, the Minister for Kampala is the Honorable Minister Kabanda. All right?
Chair, what I want not to forget responding is the last bit of compensation of the victims.
ED, have you compensated the people who lost their dear ones and property in Chitezi?
Chairperson, we had the evaluation team go to Chitezi. They gave us valuation costs for 34 households whose property was buried by garbage. They have been doing an integrity test and analysis for the houses that flooded, the 70. The report is out. They are now going to commence valuation. They are also going to commence valuation.
Which report is out? Integrity one?
The integrity, because it has to be done. It had to be done by engineers, then given to them to do the valuation. Then for the 8 people who own the vacant land, which was buried, they are also doing the valuation of that. However, for the 34 where they have received released costs, I have since written to Ministry of Finance. I have had a physical discussion with the PSST, and I have generated the cabinet paper, which is already in cabinet secretariat, to seek approval for charging from the contingency fund.
Can you give us all those correspondences?
I can provide them, Chair.
Close of business today. Lord Mayor.
Chair.
Wait.
Chair, I have problems with this. You see,
yes,
going to the PSST seeking authorization to charge the contingency fund and whatnot, when actually we had a budget and the money was released by PSST, that's where I have issues.
This money include money for compensation?
Chair, we had taken a resolution in the council.
Yes.
Which we forwarded to the Prime Minister in regards to the 2.5 billion, and said should be part of the money for the compensation, the 2.5 billion. And when you hear the amount they are talking about, which is going to be on the from the contingency fund, it's around the same amount. I think it is 2 billion, 2.41 billion. That's what they are talking about.
Okay. I think that will be answered by the Prime Minister and her team. And